Dan Cooper here. Good to welcome everybody to today's podcast. And we have Roberto Fizier here, and obviously everybody knows Julia Hanna.
Oh.
And
I think everybody knows Roberto, to be honest with you.
We know each other.
We heard each other, yes.
But tell us.
And who's this guy?
I don't know.
I don't know. Where do you
Is he
know?
running for office? You
Yeah,
running for
right.
office too? You know what? The amount of real estate signs I see, Dan, you know, it's surprising that, you know what, your name is not going
You
to be
know
on the
what?
ballot.
You're right, because I did we have a lot of signs. I think he still has more signs than everyone
You
combined.
know, probably.
and look
That's
at
a good-
this. Look what came out today.
Yeah.
Not a bad
That was
spot.
me on a good day.
I love it. That's great. That's smart marketing. And yeah, I mean, you make a great real estate agent. You have almost as many real estate signs out there as I do.
I had been offered that, but then again, I like to. I don't know. Would you see me? We'd make a great trio. What am I talking
Well,
about?
you know what, Julia,
This
you know
is
what, you're
nothing.
such an entrepreneur. Anything you
Yes.
put your mind to it, you know what, you're going to achieve success, is the way I see it. So.
Oh, well, what is it? You choose it or it chooses you? I
Right.
think it's a combination of both, right?
Right.
Yeah, if you put enough
Yeah,
work
sure.
in, it finds you, right? You know, both of you know.
You know, the funny thing is, just talking to you today, you know, I've been in business for 32 years. You've been in business, you said, for
40.
over 40?
I opened my first restaurant, next year will be my 40th year, 26. I know, you just can't believe it, I know.
Yeah.
No gray hairs. Come on, what's the secret?
Oh,
Yeah.
honey, my secret is far more regular visits than I like to my hairstyles.
Come on, being in the restaurant business, you know what,
Yeah.
that can age you.
Oh
You know
my
that.
gosh, well, you
And that's
know.
why I lost all my hairline. Like, come on.
But you know, you were one of the smart ones, eh?
Right.
You said,
I think I got it on time.
Yeah. Do you know what? You made the right move for you at the time. Because our industry, and that's one of the things that I talk about all the time, it's such a competitive industry. So surviving this industry is a really good thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. What is it? 8 out of 10 disappear the first year, and they just don't make it.
Yeah.
And then the numbers.
Some of the real estate, though, to be honest.
Then it becomes 6 out of 10.
Right.
In year 5, they don't get to celebrate their 5th anniversary. So if you think of somebody opening a restaurant, out of 10 restaurants, the 6 of them won't make it to year 5.
Come on.
Amazing.
That's kind of crazy.
Well, we're not here to talk about restaurants.
No.
We're going to talk about your political career.
Yes.
And I'm going to start with the first question.
Yes.
You know, back in 2018, you
Yes.
ran.
Yes.
And you almost won. I think it was 43% of the popular
Yep,
vote you
almost,
had
yeah.
then.
Yes.
And so, I don't know, I'm curious, what's going to happen? What's going to be different this time around?
It's really different, Dan. I mean, 2018, we started off as the #1 place to live in Canada in money sense. 2021, you know, Maclean's magazine is saying that we're number 70. There's a shift that, you know, our community is still, no one at this table would even begin to not agree with me that we live in the most amazing community, really, in Canada. But we now have our challenges, and you are both in an industry that are seeing it, and one of them being the housing crisis, right? So when we received that type of support in 2018, then 2022 became a building block from that. So our team has grown. The momentum is very different because we really fought from zero, right? It's very different momentum this time. There is everything around us after the last 2.5 years, right? Look what we've been through, right? Things have changed. People want change.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
It's a different world, you know, if you think back.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out soon enough. Elections next
Monday.
week.
Everybody needs to get out and vote. Absolutely.
Well, that's
Exercise
the
their rights to vote.
big thing. If anything comes out of us sitting here together, I was just saying, this is an amazing sandwich.
You're right.
Like I'm
Right.
telling you, I'm like the.
Who's the prosciutto?
I'm
Who's
the-
the
yeah,
bread?
oh, yeah,
I don't know.
This is like, I'm sandwiched in the middle of this. This is a pretty good way to spend an afternoon, no? But seriously, Roberto, what you're talking about, that's most important. We have to get out to vote. The encouraging news is the advanced polls have gone up.
Good.
The numbers
Excellent.
came back, we've gone up a couple points, which is a really good sign. People are weary. You have provincial politics, you know, hard hitting. Federal politics, right? We've had 2 elections, back-to-back major elections, and now we have a municipal election.
Right.
People are tired from COVID, but we have its engagement that I'm seeing tells me we're kind of a unique community that way too, because people want to know what's going on, and they care, and they know the Oakville that they've come to love, or that we knew, you knew 30 years ago, or I knew 40 years ago. I don't know, you're the baby in the room. How long has it been for you?
Well, in Oakville, probably about 25 years.
Okay, 25 years.
Right.
So we've seen so many changes, right? We've seen a lot of changes, but we want to make sure it stays secure
Absolutely.
for everybody,
Mhm.
right? Including us, and including our kids and
Absolutely.
grandkids and all that good
Longevity.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Generational.
So-
I'll ask another question.
Sure.
We know your experience as a successful
Right.
business lady, as an
Right.
entrepreneur in town. There's no doubt about
Right.
that. But can you sort of highlight some of your experiences as a leader, as a community, and a thought leader, and
Yes.
a business leader, independent of being your successful restaurateur
Yes.
person, right?
Yeah, that's always been the tough part. I have always struggled with talking about myself because, quite frankly, I find both of you far more interesting.
Come on, you're Italian. You always talk.
Yeah,
about yourself.
no, that's not. Hey.
No? Oh, come on.
Italian gets to say that about another Italian. If you had said that, you'd be in trouble. I'm saying that right now. For me, it's just what do you develop after 40 years of being in such a competitive industry? You develop the ability to negotiate. You develop the ability to be. You have to be a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these things. Think of these things how they apply in politics. We didn't plan for the future. And we didn't plan well when it came to development of our town. It's coming back to haunt us. So you can't look at what you're doing now. Same thing in business. Oh my goodness, Dan, I'm talking to you. Look at all the changes. You have to look ahead and you have to be
You
prepared.
gotta evolve. You have to
right?
evolve.
You have to be
Mhm.
a collaborative, a good leader,
Yeah.
whether it's in your industry or it's in
Right.
politics or it's an independent business owner. You have to get the best from people, and that means collaboration. That means knowing where the strengths and weaknesses are, putting a team together. That's going to move things forward, because you cannot and can't even begin to think you have all the answers. In fact, the minute you think you have all the answers, you've just confirmed that you don't have any.
Right.
Right? So, and for me, it's always been about giving back to the community. I started Healthy Fam,
Mm-hmm.
and we started that with Longos as our founding partner.
Mhm.
Thousands of kids in there across the GTA, and basically working with at-risk families and teaching them that life skill of knowing how to feed yourself.
Right.
When the pandemic hit, we started something called Maternal Gifts, which is we're preparing food for families in need.
Mhm.
And I thought we would be, coming out of this now we're okay. I'm seeing a greater demand.
See?
Amazing.
A greater demand now than when we began.
I believe it.
And I've been so lucky, because what do we have in this community? The most amazing people that will contribute.
Mhm.
And so that allows us to just keep cooking. And we identify pockets and areas, and people come to us. We just partnered with another organization. You need food? You need families fed?
Yeah.
Let's just do
We're
it.
here.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
Yeah.
what better person to do that than would be a restaurateur
Exactly.
like you?
Well, and I think food is, don't understand, when I get criticized and that, you're just a restaurateur, I find that just, when you look at the hospitality industry and what's contributed to this
There's so
country,
much
how many
more.
people it employs,
Right.
the only person that's bold enough to make a statement like that, an inaccurate statement like that, is someone who has no idea
Yeah.
how many pieces in a puzzle
Right.
have to come together
Mhm.
to
All
be
facets,
successful.
all
in-
facets
yeah.
of the business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Like you said, negotiation to
Oh my God.
to real estate to
Oh my
to
gosh. Location.
washing toilets,
Oh.
dealing with staffing issues, HR. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you're your own, like if you're in a large corporation, you have departments that will
Sure.
handle specifics, you have departments that will handle your, technological needs, you have departments that handle your HR needs. When you're an independent small business,
You gotta do it all.
You do it all.
Right.
Wear many hats.
right,
Yeah.
One thing I gotta say is you got a pretty catchy slogan.
Yes.
Mayor for all.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
coming from this marketing guru here,
Yeah.
that is pretty, thank you, that's.
In different languages too. I
Yes,
noticed
yes.
with the tagline, there's a footer right there.
just in the
Smart.
last week where you're identifying various subgroups,
Yes.
suggesting basically you're looking out for everybody.
Yes.
I think it's
Yeah.
classic. So tell me a little more about how
Well,
Mayor for All came into play.
I appreciate you asking about that, Dan, because it's a big deal, because that's how I really feel. And what I was hearing from people who live here in Oakville, especially our new residents, weren't necessarily feeling like they belonged.
Mm.
That they
Because
were
Oakville's
being
changed.
Oh my gosh, we now.
Demographics wise.
Well,
Absolutely.
you know better than anyone. And my husband, Brian, who's a real estate lawyer.
Yeah.
You guys come in contact occasionally, right? So he will tell you what the stats are today than what they were 40 years ago. We represent Canada now, and we need to thank people that come into our community.
100%.
Because if they didn't come into our community, we could not sustain this community. But we need to make sure that they feel that they belong.
Right.
So we looked at all the different languages spoken, and there's more than 13, but we took the 13 most popular languages spoken, and we've made signs, and luckily enough that we have 13 people on our team that represent each one of these communities.
Wow.
So when they translate
Smart.
it,
I was going to say the
they
message is
translate
actually
it.
accurate, right?
Exactly. Instead
Right?
of, we didn't do that Google thing.
Google Translate,
we
right?
went to our team and said, "What is this? Is this
Good.
Urdu? Is this how you'd actually say it?" And we've represented 13 countries that way. So
That's smart. I mean, I've been very similar. I've really tried to hire a very diverse group of people that represent everybody and speak the
Right.
different languages. I think we speak
Right.
about 11 languages on our team. It's
That is
very
very
important
cool, yeah.
because the landscape has changed
We
and
see
it's
it.
very
It's dynamic.
multiculturalistic.
Yeah.
You know, it's dynamic. Look at
I-
all the real estate transactions we do. You know,
Yeah.
the names, the you know, even overseas buyers. It's crazy.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And it's more of a cosmopolitan feel. And I think, like, for example, when I first came to Oakville 40 years ago, I couldn't find Italian bread. And I got so excited that there was a Miracle Mart. It used to be, you might remember, at Maple Grove. It was called Miracle Mart. They don't even exist anymore. And I found this loaf of bread, and it looked like an Italian loaf, and I was so excited I found it. And then when I took it home, I cut it open. It was, you know, like the Wonder Bread. It
Air.
just looked like
Oh,
shared, like, oh no. Now, like, look what we have
Yeah.
to offer, and look at the food and the ethnicity and it brings literally color and flavor, and it just makes your community that much more exciting. But we need to make sure that whether you're moving into Ward 7, which is the brand new community in
North
Oakville,
of Dundas, yeah.
or you're
Monarchy
moving
Preserve,
into
yep.
Ward 3, which is an established community in our town, you want to make sure that whether you're there 7 or 3, you feel like you belong here and you are getting what Oakville has to offer.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Good. Well, speaking of housing, you know, and the wards and all
Yes.
that stuff, you know, we know that, you know, affordable housing has always been kind of the buzzword lately, right? How do you, Julia, plan on tackling, you know, affordable housing? Because we know you have strong opinions on intensification,
Yes.
height restrictions,
Yes.
as we know. So what is your plan there?
Well, see, and that's the thing. For me, obviously, you know, because you know that we're talking about the 59-story towers and 3 of them in the
Yes.
quadrant. Well, here's the biggest problem. Not only is 59 stories, 20,000 people in that quadrant enough to keep you up at night, but the problem is if you do not have the infrastructure, this is really what we're trying to drive home. 20,000 people, like, you know, the incumbent said if you look up from the ground, you can't tell the difference between 40 and 60 stories.
And now, Julia, just mention to the viewers and all
Yeah.
that, you know, what area are we talking about specifically?
Oh, Midtown Core. That's on
Midtown.
Cross Avenue
Yes.
where the GO station is.
Yes.
Midtown Core.
So we're talking like Cornwall, Trafalgar,
Cornwall,
the GO
Trafalgar,
train
right there.
station,
So
Whole
you're
Foods.
talking,
Okay.
exactly,
Just so everybody
all in
knows.
that quadrant.
Okay.
Just like all development, and you both encounter that in your business too. If the infrastructure is not there, it's too late coming after, because it can't happen. So I'm looking at 3 59-story towers. There's now a proposal on the table to amend the Livable Oakville plan to allow it. Okay, I don't even understand that. But if you are expecting to build these by 2031, I would think you have sat down with the Ministry of Transportation and negotiated some sort of transportation accommodation.
Right.
Negotiated some kind of Metrolinx deal so that you will increase your transportation needs. How do we, have you been on Trafalgar?
Well, Dan, we all know, you go 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you know, you go to Beer Town, you go to Whole Foods,
Very
you know
busy
what?
corner already.
It's insane.
Okay, so now I want you to
Yeah.
picture, without any accommodation for 20,000 more people there.
Gridlock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to, we have to grow.
But where are we gonna grow?
Oh, there is area all over Oakville. We have designated areas. that we
Spread it
can
out.
grow. Spread it out, and not like the incumbent has said, I'm gonna put that tower in front of your yard. No, I'm not. I am going to look at removing the exclusionary zoning
Okay.
that we have here in Oakville. It's not working for us, Dan, because we have to look at different ways to do to build our housing. We cannot just, the whole dream of a house, single unit, and a yard. Post-war, it's the dream that everybody wants.
Absolutely.
But is it gonna happen for everybody?
Yeah, maybe not now with pricing.
The way we're going
Right,
now.
Yeah.
so,
The white picket fence dream.
Yeah.
well, how about a beautiful, have someone been to Montreal and seen what they do with duplexes and
Right.
triplexes? Have we seen how they can incorporate them into existing neighborhoods? Extra dwelling units. If you have parents that you wanna have live with you, they should be able to, if you can accommodate the room for them to live with you, to have an additional unit. But we have to think outside the box, but what we have to do is really look at what are they doing in the world? Convene those experts. First of all, number one, in Oakville, we have the most brilliant minds that are out there making change in the world, living in our community. Bring them to our table, because they're gonna wanna help their community.
Right.
And let's see how we do this differently. And in 2008, there was a plan for mid-rise for Midtown. Mid-rise. 2013, we'd gone up to some of them were 20 stories, and the town did not act on them. And now we're
Right.
looking at how do we get to
59.
that to 59? That's a biggie, right?
Right.
It's huge. It's huge. Okay, obviously you've been a small business owner forever.
Right.
You've had a chain of many successful restaurants. Good to see. So a lot of experience you bring in.
Right.
Question I have is,
Yes.
I spent a fair bit of time downtown Oakville and Lakeshore,
Yes.
and to me that kind of is Oakville. If
Yes.
you're talking to an outsider.
Right.
And the only thing that really bothers me right now is it seems like every third business has a for lease sign.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to see someone address the downtown core and bring some vibrance, some life back into the existing
Right.
situation.
Because often they
thoughts
say-
on that?
Oh, lots of thoughts. You know, I've had my restaurants in downtown Oakville for 35 years,
Yeah.
so I'm a little bit familiar with the downtown Oakville landscape. And you know, we have downtown Oakville, but we have Kerr Street and we have Brawny.
Kerr Street's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, these are all vibrant communities that need the love,
Yeah.
right? And in particular, because you are talking about downtown, and because it is something I'm very familiar with, we need economic development. We need to strengthen our economic development department. We need to attract business to the downtown. Because without economic development, without those businesses, for example, we have a lot of empty space in those buildings, Dan, you know that. We used to have financial institutions, we used to have dentists,
True.
doctors, they're gone.
The mass exodus happened.
Right, they're a mass exodus, so they're
Yeah.
empty. So now, here's these retails fighting, and they're gonna have a summer, like a summer of your dreams, because where would you wanna be? Downtown Oakville, right? But then what happens in January? What happens in November?
Right.
When the crowds aren't there, you have to depend on your neighborhood to stay solvent and strong. Well, when you don't have a neighborhood, so you don't have those buildings with people in it that are working there, that are gonna come down for lunch and maybe go
Right.
do a little shopping. And we purchased that post office in 2011 to relieve some of the parking problems. It's empty. It's a storage room for the BIA, I heard, in
Yes.
2011. It's 2022. Give me that parking. Why? Because our employees of downtown Oakville are still waiting 2 years for a parking permit. How are these businesses going to attract people if they have to drive there? Where are they going to park? And we need our hotel. We need a
Absolutely.
boutique hotel.
Yeah.
We need it, and we need it fast. Because what would you do if people come and visit you? And you know
There's not
what?
one boutique hotel.
You've got beautiful restaurants in downtown Oakville.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and there's no place to stay. Because I
Right.
think that has to be addressed. We have the
So-
Oakville Performing Arts Center as well, you know. So you've got certain segments that make it a very successful,
Yes.
could be vibrant
Yes.
downtown,
Yeah.
Yes.
but yet we're missing certain
Do
key
you know something? You
components.
said something really important. I'm glad you used that word vibrant.
Mhm.
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Like downtown Oakville is beautiful,
It is.
right? But we need it to
It's got
be
historic elements, you know, it's got some modern elements.
everything.
Yeah.
Like you just, when I'm down there, I'm like, this is gorgeous.
It's your happy
You know,
place.
it's a happy place.
Mhm.
But we need vibrant.
Mhm.
It's not enough to be
Mhm.
vibrant during the summer months.
We need someone to take it across the finish line.
Yep.
Yeah, a visionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
And we will see that on Monday.
yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna find out on Monday, aren't we?
Pretty
You,
soon.
you seem
And people
very,
will tell.
pretty soon.
you seem very calm and collected. This isn't stressing you out at all, is it?
Not even a little bit, and I'll tell you, isn't that kind of crazy? I've had a couple moments, if my team was here, they'd go, you didn't actually say that, a couple moments, but overall I have been calm and collected. I really think this last couple of years, and seeing what some families have had to deal with, there's been a lot of trauma for a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is about positive and doing things that we're all going to benefit by. I am surrounded by, I look at the campaign team and I'm like, I don't know how you ended up here. I know my food is good because I generally try to cook for them. I just know it's not that good because they believe in the change. And there is a different feel out there that, when you are being received and you're feeling welcomed and you're feeling heard.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm feeling that, then I want to be able to, I want the culture of the town to be that. I want us to be service oriented so that people aren't frustrated when they go to the town. I want people actually there serving people. Not everything can be done online.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Tell my kids that.
I agree.
There's sometimes you actually have to.
Yeah.
Social interaction,
Right?
real old school
Right?
social interaction,
We
face
need,
to face. Right?
we need to just bring, I think it's not a bad idea to look at the town and services it offers, the way we look at the hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk in, I want you to feel welcome and I want you to tell me how I can help you. That's
Yeah.
not a bad thing, right?
It's perfect. That's what we need.
Hmm?
So, just to, I guess to close it off, because,
Yes.
we thank you for your time here. You're quite familiar with the, back in the chamber days, the
Yes.
rapid fire set of questions.
Mhm.
So, we're just going to finish out with a couple rapid fire
Yes,
questions
yes,
here.
yes.
And of course, I have to start off with,
Who picked them? I just want to know who picked those.
Well, I don't, you know what, we'll find out. It's probably pretty
I'm gonna know
self-explanatory.
when you start
Absolutely,
asking,
it's pretty
okay?
self-explanatory.
All right.
So, Julia, what
Yes.
is your favorite food?
Oh, come on. That's a setup, right?
What is your favorite?
Come
Okay,
on.
so we know it's
This is an easy
Italian.
one.
I'm assuming you're to say Italian, but specifically,
Oh my gosh, I
is
love
it like a gnocchi? Is it like a pasta?
Well, first
is
of
it like
all,
a
again,
a veal
setup.
piccata? What is
My
it?
mother has been coming for 40 years making the gnocchi at the restaurant.
Right.
She's still there. She's like a superstar. She's been interviewed on all the major networks. She's like a machine at 84.
Wow.
She still makes the gnocchi.
So Mama's gnocchi
So
is
what
what
am I
you're telling
gonna
me,
say?
right? Mama's
What can I
gnocchi.
say?
Otherwise,
She
you're
didn't
gonna get the
even know.
backhand, right?
Exactly. And she's still capable. She's about this big.
Absolutely.
Like this tall.
That shoe comes off, and they got great aim.
Yeah,
They have great aim. Let me tell
that's-
you.
That backhand is powerful.
Right.
All right.
She's still
So all right,
consistent.
it's
Yes.
Mama's gnocchi. Okay, I
Okay.
get that. All right. Who's your favorite lawyer?
You
That's
can't
a loaded
say honest.
question.
Well, considering I'm married to one, I will tell you though, my favorite lawyer was Jarvis Sheridan.
Really? Okay.
And my
Jarvis,
husband,
yep.
my husband deals with it.
Yep.
He deals with it. With the joke in the family is that Jarvis Sheridan was my first and Brian Hanna, my husband's my second.
That's funny.
Because Jarvis Sheridan, who has since retired,
Mhm.
was one of the kindest and sweetest men I've ever met.
Yeah.
And but I'm kind of fond of that other guy too. I can.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Brian Hanna's been a lawyer in this town for, I just talked to him the other
Yes.
night, 47 and a half years.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I want to be there for that celebration when he
Oh,
gets
it's
his
going to be a
50th.
party. We're
That's
going to
pretty
have a party.
cool.
It's very cool, and look at him, like he's vibrant.
Yeah.
And he's doing what he loves. We both made that commitment that we will do this because we love it, and the minute we don't love doing it,
Right.
we stop.
Makes
That
sense.
doesn't
You're
mean you're not
fostering.
going to have bad days. You're going to have days, or you're going to have days and go, what am I doing this for, right? But if overall it brings you joy, and you know what he still loves the most? He loves the people.
Of
He
course.
loves the face to face.
Yeah, he'll never quit.
Well, just
He
the
can
other
do
day
that
too,
forever.
in case in point, Julie,
Yeah.
just seeing him at the Chamber of Business after
Yes.
hours, right? Small
Yes.
Business Week, there's
Yes.
Brian Hanna, there's yourself, it's fantastic to see you guys.
Yeah, we are definitely freaking frack. Like we're polar opposites, and
Yin and yang.
we're
right?
we're politically
Salt and
polar
pepper,
opposites.
salt and pepper, you
We
need to
come
see
together, and everybody. So many times, you're Brian's wife, and I'm going, yeah, that's me, and vice versa, because we're so different. But I think that's the balancing act that works, because how boring
Right,
would it be
Yeah.
if we were the same?
right.
Yeah, of course.
It's never going to happen.
Salt,
so we
salt
don't
and
have to
pepper,
worry
salt and
about it.
pepper.
You got it, and
Right.
we need both.
Right.
Yeah. Yes,
Favorite color?
red.
Okay.
I
Absolutely.
thought it was yellow.
Well, it would have crossed today, but look, you can't see my little red purse over
Right,
there.
there you go.
Red, because it's alive. Vibrant,
Perfect,
right?
perfect. All right.
And last question, it's a little
Yes.
loaded too,
Yes.
but who's
Yeah.
your favorite realtor?
Oh, son of a gun.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Isn't that called pandering?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's called pandering.
No, this was not pre-staged, not to get out, no.
At this moment,
You don't have to answer it.
between this sandwich here, I'm only going one direction. Where
Well,
is it? There you go.
We wish you all the best towards next week.
Thank
Take
you.
it across the finish
Oh
line.
my gosh, thank you. It's gonna be fun, and it's fun being here. I mean, we go back.
Ways. My God.
We can actually say, Dan, way
Way
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And
I know, eh?
And Dan still has incredible hair too. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Not bad. And
You know,
he
not bad,
gave
right?
me an award once, one of my very first awards.
Uh-huh.
West Oak Trail resident or something.
Yeah,
You did?
Citizen of the Year
Or
award.
something,
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
something
West Oak
like-
Trails.
When was that?
Over
Yeah.
20 years
Oh
ago.
God, it was back in the
Yeah.
probably the 90s.
Hey, I haven't gotten an award from you lately. I'm just saying.
Okay, well.
I just.
Let me make one right now.
How about you give me a
Well,
mug?
yeah, how about a
I'll take
global
mug.
citizen
Oh,
award? You know, there we
Oh, I
go.
didn't
It's like an Oscar
I
for
didn't
you.
have a speech prepared. I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
expecting this. Oh my gosh, you guys are too much. That was fun. Thank you, Dan. That
All
was
right,
great.
thanks, Julia.
Thank you, Julia.
remember
Good luck on
tomorrow,
Monday.
right. Yes,
All right.
thank you, and thank you to giving me a few minutes of fun in the middle of the madness. So I appreciate
pleasure.
that.